Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to once again another episode of ManicManiac Predicts the 2016 NFL season, and welcome to the penultimate episode. It is Super Bowl week, and we are only a few days away from watching what will hopefully be one of the best games of this year, to crown the champion of the 2016 NFL season. And it's been quite the ride, quite the journey. It's been an up and down year for the NFL. You look at the ratings drop, the quality of the game. A lot of it has not been that great, but there have been some bright spots in it. And we have seen a lot of great teams this year. A lot of great stories come out of this year, and a lot of intrigue heading into the 2017 offseason. I'm looking forward to the offseason a lot, but I also love me some football, and I cannot wait for this game, and I'm going to be crushed once the season is over. With all that being said, let us get to our kickoff topic this year. Or for this episode, not for the year. Well, we are going to talk about this year. Last week we talked a lot about the 2017 offseason, what we can expect from each team. But let's backtrack a little bit. The NFL Honors Ceremony is going to be this Saturday, which when this video goes up, it'll be tomorrow at 8 o'clock on Fox. And it's going to be, I think, a pre-taped award show. We end up finding out the awards like an hour or two, like who wins each award, like an hour or two ahead of time. But the award ceremony you'll actually get to see at 8 o'clock, and it's gonna be I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how it all goes down. But I'm gonna give my predictions here as to who I think is going to win each award, and this was tough. I personally, looking at the field, that there was an obvious one for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year was obvious. Comeback of the Player of the Year was pretty obvious. But then you got into the other few guys. The MVP award can still be considered a toss-up, even though Matt Ryan's considered the favorite. Offensive Player of the Year, I mean, usually that goes to the MVP, but I think that it could go to other players as well. Defensive Player of the Year is very up in the air, and so is Coach of the Year. So let me give you guys my predictions here. Let me start out with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. This was a tough one because it was a battle between Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, but based on the reactions that I'm seeing around and think of it this way, Dak Prescott had an amazing season, but Ezekiel Elliott was the powerhouse of the season, leading the league in rushing. He was the best at his position this season. There's no reason whatsoever to doubt Ezekiel Elliott, so I'm going with him in that sense. And then we have the Defensive Rookie of the Year, which there wasn't a lot of defensive rookies that really stood out other than Joey Bosa. And I think that he's going to end up winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. I have to think back, because I know that there were other defensive rookies that had an impact on the season. I think Keanu Neal, who is a safety for the Falcons, he, I think, could be. He's definitely not Joey Bosa, better than Joey Bosa, Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he has absolutely contributed to the Falcons going as far as they have this season. Honestly though, I can't, it's hard because I don't think I can think of anyone else. Maybe Eli Apple. No. He kind of came in late in the season. He didn't really play a lot of it. I mean, Joey Bosa did too. Or did he? Joey Bosa didn't start till week 3, week 4, but Eli Apple didn't really start any games. I think DRC went down. But Eli Apple did play well. Yeah, I can't really think of anyone else on the defensive side of the ball, rookie wise. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come back to this. But let's move on to the comeback player of the year, and this one's obvious. The guy is tough as hell. He went through the whole season playing out of his mind, like really well, and then he made it all the way to the NFC Championship game, or made it all the way to the NFC Wildcard game before he was hit in the ribs, and knocked out for a playoff game before coming back against the Atlanta Falcons. He still had broken ribs, but he got a suit on under that was protecting his ribs, and despite all that, he's gonna still be in a lot of pain, but he still fought through. He still played well. You gotta give it to Jordy Nelson, and I think before the season started, I had Jordy Nelson within the top 10 at least, of wide receivers in the league. I still think that he deserves to be in a conversation. I don't think anyone should overlook him whatsoever. So now let's talk the offensive player of the year. And again, this one is tough because I mean the offensive player of the year again usually is the MVP. I forget if that was the case last year or the year before that, but I think if you're going to give like a runner-up prize to the MVP award, I would say Tom Brady, based on who I ended up picking for my MVP, would be the offensive player of the year as the runner-up to the MVP award, because Tom Brady has just played amazing. 2 interceptions in the regular season, had 2 more against the Texans in the postseason, but still played light out against the Steelers in the AFC Championship game, and all season long has been playing so incredible, like on his Deflategate Revenge Tour. I think he deserves those honors. I think he deserves some honors, like I feel like giving Matt Ryan MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, you're giving the guy 2 awards that he deserves, but maybe spread the love a little bit. Give Tom Brady some love for what he has done. Another thing, too, before I move on to Defensive Player of the Year, my Coach of the Year winner is Bill Belichick. I think that he had to overcome some adversity without Tom Brady at quarterback, and he was able to lead his team and only have 2 losses all season long, and only one of those came without Brady. That's incredible, and it just shows how incredible this team is. I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady both deserve honors of some kind. Absolutely, Bill Belichick deserves a Coach of the Year. My other choice would have been Jack Del Rio, turning the Raiders from 7-9 all the way to, kicking ass. 11, or like what did they end up going? Was it 11-5 or 12-4? Whatever it was, they just were awesome this year, and it sucks that Derek Carr ended up breaking his leg and not being able to move on further in the playoffs. But I think Jack Del Rio deserves a lot of credit. I think he might end up winning it. Him, maybe Jason Garrett, but I think Bill Belichick deserves it the most. All right, speaking of the Raiders, Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with Khalil Mack. This is tough. Von Miller and Landon Collins are 2 of the other guys that I would say are in the running here, but I'm going with Khalil Mack. Just dynamic and helped save a poor Raiders defense, essentially, from really tanking down the stretch. So, good for Raiders Nation. Speaking of which, by the way, I do want to bring this up because Las Vegas Raiders, it might not happen now. There's some speculation that you had Sheldon Alderson, which was like the main guy that was gonna fund the stadium. He's not going to be a part of that anymore, and now the Goldman Sachs donors, they may not be able to put enough money down for it. So, I mean, I don't know how exactly they're going to get to Las Vegas unless someone else comes up as an investor, but they may have to stick it out in Oakland. And then I heard that San Diego called, which is honestly, I don't even want to hear that. That's just, I cannot handle the idea of a San Diego Raiders. Like, come on. Like, Los Angeles doesn't want the Chargers, and San Diego sure as hell do not want the Raiders. I mean, I guess if they're the San Diego Raiders, they're closer to LA at that point, and they have a lot of Raiders fans in LA, so maybe that's good, but, God. It's just not good, man. I would not want to see that. All right. Anyways, last but not least, MVP. I've made it obvious. Matt Ryan. You know, I just think he's played amazing this year. Deserves a lot of credit for what he did. Absolutely fan freaking tastic. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we move on to the predictions with Go Cubs. The Hall of Fame class is going to be announced. Who am I rooting for to make it? Well, LaDainian Tomlinson is easily going to be a first ballot guy. I love Kurt Warner as a human being, and I've seen him play via NFL Game Pass, and he's played fantastic. He has all these freaking records. He deserves to be in there. And I think everything else is really up in the air. My prediction is going to be that you're going to get double backs in the class with Terrell Davis. You're going to have Terrell Owens, so double Terrells as well. Terrell Owens, I think they always bring a wide receiver in there. I think they're going to finally give Owens his time. And then, number 5 is going to be John Lynch. Now, John Lynch has been making news lately. He is now the San Francisco 49ers general manager. Oh God, no, the Falcons got away. Okay, sorry. The John Lynch to San Francisco. That is really weird, and I've seen both criticism and praise. A lot more criticism. I understand some of it. Hearing people were saying that well, first of all, the guy's unqualified, has not even been in the front office before. What do you think? How do you think he's gonna run a general manager position? And then you also have people being like, well, one, the people are saying the Rooney Rule wasn't advised well in their search, and they just kind of picked John Lynch. I don't know for sure about that. We don't know enough about their search, so I'm not gonna go there yet. But and then also the fact that there's so many qualified guys to be a general manager, and the fact that they were all passed up for a guy that's never even worked a day as a general manager, it's a little disappointing. It's frustrating for a lot of people out there that work hard to get to that point, and then kind of get like, no, we want the former football player. Now, with all that being said, though, I'm not gonna knock this higher yet. A lot of it was just weird and unexpected. My reaction. I mean, a former player has studied the game, and especially a guy that has done a lot of analysis on TV with Fox. You learn about players, you learn about positions, and how to evaluate the game in general. So I'm not saying that he has all the expertise, but I think that he could build that expertise around him, hire a bunch of people that know what they're doing, and make it a little bit better. And I think it works out really well when you have him, who he was a player under Mike Shanahan, and now Mike Shanahan's son Kyle Shanahan's going to be the head coach of the 49ers. To have that duo there that know each other and like each other, I mean, it's a stable relationship, but will it work? We have to see and find out. But it's going to be one of those storylines that I'm very looking forward to following in the offseason, seeing. I mean, this is not going to be a one-year project for the 49ers, but, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, anyways, back to the Hall of Fame. So those are my 5 choices, and I think that Jerry Jones, Paul Tagliabue, and Kenny Easley, they're at the senior finalists and the contributor finalists. I think they will get in as well. So we'll have the 8 different Hall of Famers, and I think they will all be worthy. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I love it. I love. I have not been a fan for that long. And, all these players that are getting to the Hall of Fame, I've never actually seen watch live. but I know of them, and I know the impact they've had on the game, and not even watch I've watched past Kurt Warner games. I've watched a little bit of like Daniel Tomlinson, but I have not seen any of the other guys. But hearing about it from other people, hearing about their impact on the franchises, how much the franchises still talk about them to this day, they clearly, I think those five absolutely deserve it. I think all the finalists absolutely deserve it, but those are just my five that I'm picking for now. So there's that. Okay, with that, I'm gonna finish off my rambling. We are gonna move on now to the moment we've all been waiting for, the Super Bowl predictions for Gocubs and I. It took me a while to make my pick, but I feel pretty good about it. Let's move on to Gocubs and our picks. All right, we are back, Mr. Gocubs. How you doing?
Chris,
Yeah.
have you ever used a coat hanger to actually hang a coat, or
I
is it more for shirts?
I think I use it more for coats.
Because
I
like I'm looking at my coat hangers right now, and I only see like dress shirts and sweaters on them, not a single coat.
I know that I have. I when I was doing theater, I did a lot of hanging of like suit jackets.
Well, those are different. Suit jackets and coats are different. Like yeah, I wouldn't put like a full like winter coat on like a wire coat hanger. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. I think it's a travesty that they're called coat hangers. Then you know,
I think that's exaggerated just a little bit, but
it's an absolute tragedy.
let's
Let me
talk football.
establish it. Congratulations on your postseason, your Super Bowl prediction, being right for the idea that you had the Falcons making the Super Bowl at week 2.
Eight.
Oh, week 8. Oh.
Week eight, dude.
Oh, okay. I was giving you way too much credit.
I didn't know the Falcons were going to be good week two. Jesus.
well, the reason you know why I'm saying that because week 2 the Falcons and Raiders played, and that was your Super Bowl predictions.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's maybe where I got that number from.
Yeah.
But I still think that's a very considering where they were at week 8. I think they were only like 5-3 at the time.
Yeah.
uh, to say that they were going to make the Super Bowl was very, very bold. Uh, and you went for it. And unfortunately, we don't actually have it on record when you said it, but I at least have the text message.
I did make a tweet.
Oh, you did make the tweet at the
Yeah,
time,
I
right?
did tweet it out.
Okay, if you remind me, I will make sure to put that in the description to prove that
All right.
that you played the Falcons. Now, of course, unfortunately, the Raiders couldn't make it, but I think that they had a pretty good chance if Derek Carr didn't go down. But obviously, we've moved past that. But the Patriots are in it, and I think it's gonna be a very exciting game. Right before we get to that, let's just review everything that has happened to this point in terms of predictions. My current record sits at 174-90, and if I
Pretty good.
get it right, yeah, I it's not gonna drastically change either way, whichever way I win or lose. But I absolutely demolished last year's picking record. And as for between you and I, if we defer, you have a chance if you win to tie with me in terms of postseason predicting record. But if I pick the same team that you do, it'll be I'll go to either 9-2 or 8-3, and you would not be able to catch up with me in that sense.
Oh
So
well.
it's
I
okay.
was picking with my heart for a lot of them.
Yeah, you know what? But that's what matters. That's what happened last year. You beat me. So sometimes it's the heart that matters. You know. So
Yeah.
let's. All right. You know what? Let's just dive right into it. The Super Bowl picks. The Patriots. This has been a dynasty for so many years.
Very, very years.
Lots of years, and I've already given
So
on the
many.
show. I've already given the stat of how 6 teams from the AFC have made the playoffs since 2000, uh, and 7 of those years out of like 17 years, or I'm sorry, 16 years, 7 of those years had the Patriots in it with Tom Brady, with Bill Belichick, to show you that how long the Patriots have been on top. You have an offense that has always been dynamic and using all of its receivers at all times. An offensive line that has shuffled a lot, but has made sure to keep the pressure off Brady so he can make the throws. And then you have a defense that's always not really looked at as one of the best, but has always been one that gets the job done. But
Yep.
now you have the Falcons, a team that no one except Go Cubs expected to make the Super Bowl, and they
Thanks.
they are they have been, if not good, if not better than the Patriots in terms of offense this year. Matt Ryan has been absolutely incredible. They've been using everyone around that offense to make sure they get the job done. If Julio Jones was shut down, it doesn't matter. They got the job done. In fact, they are undefeated when Julio Jones gets shut down. And the defense has gotten better as the season has gone along, especially in the playoffs. In the NFC Championship game, rather, the Packers were pressured a lot by the Atlanta Falcons pass rush, and that offensive line for the Packers was considered one of the best in the league. Not so much when you play the Falcons. So this is a battle between Dan Quinn, who was the defensive coordinator against the Seahawks when the Patriots were last in the Super Bowl in 2014. He has a chance to get revenge against this Patriots team, and it's going to be a hell of a battle. It's what I've said. It's a battle between David versus Goliath. It's a potential for a team to actually put themselves on the map, or a team to get revenge against a stupid commissioner and his stupid Deflategate.
Yep.
Choose your storyline. Choose what you like. Go Cubs, make your choice.
All right. So you know that I'm kind of a Patriots fan.
Of course.
Ooh, I know. I kind of just like picked them. Like, when was it? Like, it was like 2006 or something. I was playing Madden with my brother, and I was just like, I need a team to play that isn't the Bears. uh, so I was like, the Patriots, they're kind of good. And that was like they had just won in 2004,
Mm-hmm.
which was the year before the game that I had was made. It was ESPN 2K5
Right.
football. So it's like, all right, I'll just start rooting for them, and so I liked them that way. And like I was fucking 10, so I didn't know like any history about them or anything, and so I
Right.
kind of like I always have just viewed them in kind of a positive light. I know they're the villains of the NFL, but
They're fun to watch. I mean,
they're
you
fun
can
to watch
you
and they're
can
fun to root for. And I think that anyone who just like gets butthurt over them is like just jealous.
right. I absolutely. As someone who's a Giants and Jets fan, I would 100% hate them just for jealousy wise. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
That's really it.
Like they're really good. They've able to put this together. It's not going to last forever. Tom Brady's fucking 39.
Yeah.
Like, uh, they're just the dynasty right now. However, that being said, like I love rooting for the underdog, having been a Cubs fan my entire life, and only just now in the past few months being able to realize the dream of like the Cubs winning the World Series. Uh,
It
and the
happened.
Bears went, what?
It happened, and
It
Chicago
happened.
ceased to exist.
Yep. Can't go there anymore. Even though I was there last month.
Right.
Anyway, uh, I do like rooting for the underdog, and I loved the way the Falcons' offense has been playing this past season, and getting to watch them in the postseason only solidifies the fact that I think that they are the team that can take down the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So of course I have to go with the Falcons.
Yeah, there you go. So I this has rocked my world. It was very tough to pick the Super Bowl. I think 2 years ago it was tough when it was the Pats, the Seahawks. Last year was easy to pick the Panthers, and of course that didn't end up working out.
Nope.
But this Super Bowl has been so tough because I think both people who give both sides of the argument have really strong points. And I know that a lot of people are talking about the Patriots a lot, forgetting about the Falcons. However, I've seen a lot of experts pick the Falcons for whatever reason. I feel like they put the Patriots on a pedestal, but they're like, oh, I'm picking the Falcons though, because I think everyone wants to be like, oh, I'm the one that picked, the Falcons to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Um, but this has been. I think this is a very equal matchup, more than people think. I think it's going to be a battle on the field, but I think the biggest battle will be between the coordinators. Kyle Shanahan versus Matt Patricia. You have Josh McDaniels versus Dan Quinn. And Bill Belichick obviously overseeing the McDaniels and Patricia. Those guys are going to be the minds behind the operation. Obviously, you have Brady and Ryan who are leading their teams, but these guys are the minds behind each of these operations. And the game plans are going to be key in this game. With all that being said, this is, again, a very tough decision, but whenever there is a toss-up, I have to always go with the Patriots. That the Patriots, I went against them last week against my better judgment, or against my will, I guess. But
Yeah, I kind of made you.
It's okay. It's all good. But I just think that this is a team that has shown time and time again that no matter who they face, when they face them, where they face them, it doesn't matter, that they're going to come to play. If they don't win, it's going to be a very close game. There is no way that this team's going to get blown out. I just think the Patriots have all the weapons around them on offense and a defense that proved me wrong in the AFC Championship game, shutting down a very hot Steelers offense. But it's going to be very difficult shutting down Matt Ryan and that offense. So I'm going with the Patriots. If they lose, though, I will be thrilled. But I think that they have the edge in this one. But that's just that. I think it could go either way.
Don't get me wrong. I do think that the Patriots have the advantage in this game.
Right. Absolutely. But I mean, who doesn't want to see the underdog win it? Yeah,
Right.
Obviously not anyone in the Boston area or New England area, obviously, but you have a team like the Falcons who no one had them in the preseason even contending for this game, much like the Panthers last year. This is a team that has come out of nowhere, that has taken the limelight, but in a way that is very different from the Panthers, where the Panthers were always loving the cameras. This Falcons team doesn't love the cameras. They love it, the fact that they're underdogs. They're going under the radar, they're happy about it.
There was all of this attention going towards Dallas, especially this season, and then they just didn't, and they obviously just didn't demolish most of the competition.
Right.
But and the two star rookies kind of helped with that, I think. But
exactly,
they didn't do well in the postseason.
Yeah, well, they had a hell of a fight, that's for sure. But they couldn't take down.
That was close. That was a really entertaining game to watch the end of.
Yeah, the Packers took them down, and then at that point, all the attention went to Green Bay, including myself. I went to Green Bay because I was just like, well, Aaron Rodgers is playing unbelievable right now. It's gonna be very hard to stop him. But the Falcons have proven everyone wrong,
Yeah.
and I think that this is going to be a hell of a test for them, and if they can do it, what a story! What a way to finish off the season. So that's my take on it, and I'm very excited for this game. What is your bold prediction, Go Cubs?
All right, my bold prediction in a game with two amazing offenses, held up by two all-star quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there will be more combined rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
I like that.
Not the boldest, but
no, I like that. I think that's one of your boldest yet. In fact, I think that's pretty good.
More rushing than passing touchdowns. Devontae Freeman and LeGarrette Blount are gonna
kick
have the
ass.
games of their lives.
Yeah. All right. For me, I'm good. I'm not too sure about the numbers, but these were the two teams that had the best turnover differential in the league, in the sense that they did not turn over the turnover of the ball a lot at all. In fact, I think Brady only had 2 interceptions. I think Matt Ryan only had a few himself. These guys were very good at keeping the ball in their hands, as well as the team around them not giving up the ball. However, in this Super Bowl, there won't be one, not two, but 3 turnovers by each team in this game. A
Oh
game
boy.
that will be back and forth constantly, and it'll come down to who has the ball last. It will be a
Oh
turnover.
boy.
It'll be a turnover frenzy. It'll still be a great offensive game, but it'll be a lot of turnovers in it as well. So look, good defensive game as well. So there you go. That's my pick, and that's our picks for the Super Bowl, and we are en route to the Super Bowl. Real quick, I know you said MVP Matt Ryan, right? That's your prediction for
Yes, that's my MVP pick.
any other predictions that you want to make for the awards, like defensive player, anything like that, or do you?
Uh, shit.
I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer them right now.
I do not have an answer. I'm sorry.
It's all good. But I said offensive player, if it doesn't go to the MVP, would go. I think Tom Brady would get it. Defensive player, I said Khalil Mack for the Raiders, but that's the
Raiders?
for the Raiders. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And I think Jack
I
Del
was just
Rio.
thinking Super Bowl defensive player, so that's why I was.
Oh no. Yeah. These are the awards that they give out on the Saturday before. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did that earlier for the earlier piece in this episode. So
Gotcha.
all right, any last thoughts, Go Cubs, on the Super Bowl?
Uh, the commercials are not going to be good.
Bold
That's my
prediction.
thought.
Bold prediction. They've not been good for the past few years.
They've not
Honestly.
been good, so that's not a bold prediction at all.
It's not really actually.
I think there's gonna be one good one that people are gonna talk about.
Yeah. I will say this: of all like, there's been like, yeah, I would say maybe one or two good ones. My favorite one is still the Allstate commercial. I think it was Allstate maybe, and that it was the kid that died. I think that it was like it was like the whole like he was like playing and everything, but I didn't get a chance to do all that because I died. And then all the memes that came out of it after Marshawn Lynch wasn't handed the ball. I would have handed the ball to Marshawn, but I died. that even though it was a terrible commercial, a sad commercial, the memes coming out of that were hilarious. And everyone got butthurt about it too because it was like, "Oh, it's sad. Get over it." There's been so many sad Super Bowl commercials. You'll
Yeah.
experience some joy during the football game. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be good to one another, be kind to one another, and enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. I'll be back next week with my recap of the season. See you later, guys.
Bye.